Hello guys, this is Hariharan. In this video, we are going to see about what is MCP servers, how to connect an MCP servers to Google ADK Agent, and also how to create a own MCP server and connect it to our agent. So let's get into the video. So now let me answer the question of what is MCP. MCP is abbreviated as Model Context Protocol. It's a mechanism of giving a context to the LLM. It's an open standard through which we can connect external application and data sources and tools to the LLM. So now let me explain it detail with a whiteboard. Now consider this LLM. This is the brain. All the inputs which we give will be given to the LLM. Okay, let's say if we want our LLM to connect to an external database. So for our case, we can consider it as an SQL database. So we want LLM to connect to a SQL database and to make changes in the database. So the traditional way of doing this is actually we need to write separate function. For creating a database, we need to write a function. For for editing, we need to write a separate function, and also for creating a table, we need to create a function. So for these things we need to write separate function independently. So let's say if there is some other application, like let's say if you want to connect to a Gmail and send emails, then also we must write separate function, and this work was tedious. So in order to overcome this difficulty, the concept of MCP servers was created. So now all the underlying tools have been connected to the MCP servers. So all the tool functionality and implementations have been already written and can be used via the MCP server. So now MCP server acts as a bridge between the LLM and the tools. And through this bridge, we can connect to whichever tool we need, which includes Gmail, Drive, or SQL database. So we can connect to this tool via this server, and this MCP server follows the client server protocol. This is the server and the LLM is our client. This client will connect to the server in order to use the underlying tools it has. So instead of focusing on the tool implementation, we can just connect to the servers and then use the tools with ease. Now let me show you the GitHub repo which has all the servers, all the free servers which is available for us to use. So in this GitHub website, you can see all the available free servers which we can use to develop a project. It includes Notion server, AWS servers, and also you can see tons of server here. You can explore these servers. Now let me tell you how ADK handles the MCP tools. ADK has a feature called MCP toolset class through which we can connect the MCP tools. So now let me tell you what are the parameters of the MCP class. So the first one is connection management. It uses three types of connection management. One is StdioConnection params, SSEConnection params, and another one is streamable HTTP connection params. So now let me tell them what these three are. So STDO connection params is like the MCP tool is like a child process to the ADK. So we will run the tool as a command line argument. So it's like running the Python tool uh, via the command line itself by creating a child process in the ADK. So it is entirely in local environment. And the next one is SSEConnection params. It's like a streamable connection. So what is that is it is a long lived connection. It will be streaming the responses continuously. And the next one is streamable HTTP params. So both are similar. SSEConnection params and streamable HTTP params are somewhat similar, but the only difference is SSEConnection params is always open, but streamable HTTP connection params is not open. It will send the response in chunks. So it will be sending, once it sends, it will not send anything, it will close the connection. But SSEConnection params is a long lived, so it will always be open, and it will always continuously sending the output. So it's similarly like loading. It will say 10% completed, like that it will be always sending, but this one will not send anything when it sends the output. So these things are like general things, but you can just go through it. The only uh, the only main thing in this MCP toolset class is the connection management, so which I explain now. Okay, now I'm going to download a MCP server from this model cosmos protocol GitHub repo. So in this I'm going to download this Google Workspace server. Through this server we can connect to all the Google Workspace tools like Google Drive, Google Sheets, Google Calendar, Google Docs, Google Forms and Google Mail, etc. So for downloading this we can just we can copy this URL, and in this you can give us git clone and download it. I have already gave this and cloned the repo. You can see here that this Google Workspace repo is cloned here. So now let us go through the documentation in order to see how to use it. So in order for using any MCP server, you need to you need to go through the documentation, I mean the readme file. In that readme file they will be given step by step on how to use that MCP server and connect it to our agent. Okay, now let's go through this. So first you need to create a project. You can go through this I will go through this each step by step. You first need to create a project, or if you have any existing project you can use that. First let us go to the Google Cloud Console. Yeah, I have gone through this project. Now let's see the next step. Next step, what they are saying, to enable the credential. So in this you can click this navigation menu and you can go to APIs and services, and inside this you can go to this credentials and you can give create credentials, and you need to give OAuth client ID, and in this application type you need to give it as desktop app, and you can give it some names, and you need to give create. Yeah, after giving create it will show a screen, and in this you can download it as a JSON. I have already downloaded this, so I am not creating. So you can rename it. I actually renamed it as G drive ID. You can rename it whatever you want. After that, the main thing is you need to enable all the APIs and services. You need to search for calendar, drive, Gmail. Let me show you how to do. Let me search as calendar. In this you can see the Google Calendar API. Yeah, you need to enable this. By enabling this you will be able to use the Google Calendar. And now the credentials and everything is done. Now the next part is you should have a actually you should have the Google G Cloud CLI in your terminal actually. So for that you can actually and you can follow the exact steps step by step. For whichever version you have, you can follow exact step. Okay, after doing all these things, after configuring the API, and also after if you're not in if you have don't have the G Cloud CLI in your system, after installing that you can come to the next part. Next one is you are going to do these things. Which one is export OAuth in secure transport one, and also these variables you need to export, and in this user Gmail Google email you need to give it as your email ID. So I will show you three different examples. Now as you can see, I have imported the MCP toolset class. In that I have imported MCP toolset, STDO server parameters, and streamable HTTP connection params. So first let me show you how StdioConnection params is working. In this you can see, to start the server they have given commands like uv run main.py, uv run main.py transport stream for streamable HTTP mode. First we will use this main.py. This is the default STDO mode. Now I will be showing how to use STDO mode. And also there are many things. We can use separate tool also. In this tutorial I will be showing you only the drive tool. If you want to test on other tools you can test it yourself. So yeah, okay, now in this agent code you can see I have given the model as Gemini 2.5 Flash, and the name as root agent, and the description as a helpful assistant for user questions, and also in this tools you can see I have given as MCP tool set, and also in the connection params I have given it as STDO server parameters, and you can see I have given normal command. The command is uv, and the arguments are run main.py, and for the tools I am using drive, and the tool tier I am giving complete access of the drive, and the current working directory is server directory, that is The server directory is simply the Google Workspace directory. Since you can see the main.py is present here, so I am using it. For setting up this environment, you can actually see this documentation. So in this documentation you can see for development mode you need to export this, you set it to 1, so I set it this to 1, and also the workspace URI and also workspace port, these things we need to set. You need to go through the documentation step by step in order to set the environment variables. And also this Google client secret path, this is the path of the credentials which you installed. In the Google Cloud I showed you installing a credentials.json, right? You need to give the path of the credentials.json so that it will use these credentials to verify that you are the user. That's what it means. Now let us run this project and see. So now for running this agent I have given ADK web command. Now we can test out our agent. I am giving my mail ID because it doesn't know which drive mail ID to see. And also when you are giving this command for the first time, it will ask for OAuth authentication. It will send you a link for doing OAuth authentication because the JSON file which you generated is for OAuth authentication. So it will ask that, and when you click that link it will ask you to sign in through your mail ID, and you will see a window like this as authentication successful. Since I already did this, it will directly give me the result. You can see it has listed all the files present in my drive actually. So you can see all the files has been listed. Now let's see what are the capabilities of this tool. So I have given the command as what are the tools available in the server. Okay, you can see a ton of tools. So if you want to manually write these tools as a function tool, it takes more amount of time. But now through MCP it's very easy. You can just plug and play. All the tools are available. Just connect it to your agent and it works fine. So this is the power of MCP. It saves time and increases the productivity. Okay, now the next one is streamable HTTP connection params. So now you are going to connect the same MCP, Google Drive MCP, with the streamable HTTP connection. So in streamable HTTP, it's like hosting the MCP server in a port. So we are hosting it 8000 port. So what we are going to do is host the same Google Workspace MCP server in the 8000 ports, and through this HTTP link we are going to connect the ADK with that MCP server. So in order to host this MCP server in this port, now let us go through this documentation. So in this we can see allows HTTP directory URLs. So we need to export this. So let me copy this and paste it and click enter. And also the user email I need to set. So now let me export this command and paste it, and in the mail ID I am giving my mail ID. This one is for Google search, but we are not doing any Google search, so we are skipping that part. And next one is server configuration, in which port we must host. Okay, now let me copy this one by one and paste it here. So we are setting the MCP base URI as localhost. Let us set the port. I will set the port as 820. Since in 8000 port our ADK web will run, and actually we can also change the port in which the ADK web is also running. So let's just skip the part and we will change the port here. Now for running the command, we will copy this and I will paste it here, and in this, instead of docs and sheets, I will write it as drive, and we are going to do a streamable HTTP. So we need to copy this in order to enable HTTP transport. So I'm copying and pasting it here. Now I'm giving enter. Now you can see the MCP server is spun up in localhost 820. Okay, now in this code we can see that I have given in the tools I have given the connection params as streamable HTTP params, and in the URL I have given the URL, but in this URL the port is 8000, but since we changed the port to 820, I will rename it as 820 here and click save. Now we will try to run this agent and see. So for running this agent, we can open a separate terminal and give ADK web. Okay, the ADK web is open. Let me click the link to open it. I select the agent as ADK agent. Now I will give the same command. So I have given the command. Now let's see what it happens. So you can see it's calling the list drive items tool similar to that StdIO. Okay, so you can see it's giving us all the files which is similar to the StdIO. It has given all the files. So both the StdIO and the streamable HTTP, the output is similar, only the connection with the MCP is different. Okay, now let me tell you how to create your custom local MCP server using the FastMCP Python library. You can install the FastMCP Python library simply by giving us pip install FastMCP and it will be installed within seconds. So now let me go through this code. So in this I am importing the FastMCP library. So the tool which I am going to build and show you now is a simple tool. This is a system stats tool. What it does is, by using the psutil library, it will tell me how much RAM memory and the CPU usage has been currently used by my system. So it's just a simple tool. I am going to create this tool and show you how to insert it as a tool to the ADK agent. So now let us go through the tool. So first we will define the MCP server and FastMCP, and the name of the tool is my computer agent. And also the creating tools using FastMCP is very easy. You just need to use this decorator as MCP at tool and define the function. It will automatically wrap it up as a MCP server kind of tool by itself by using the decorator function itself. So this is the system stats tool, and this is like simply using the psutil function and pulling up the CPU usage percentage and also the RAM memory. And in this I am running the MCP, and the transport is StdIO. I am using StdIO transport. So we can directly give the command in the ADK agent itself. So similar to the server.py, you can create any types of server easily with this method. I have created simple tool. You can actually make complex tool also, like if you want to make tools for your local SQL database, you can make tools similar to this, like recreate table, edit table, add row, delete row. So you can create like this. Since for this tutorial purpose I created a simple tool. Okay, now in this agent.py you can see these models, name and instructions all are similar. In the tools you can see the connection parameters is StdIO server parameter. Since the MCP tool which I am using, the transport we set to StdIO, and the command is Python, which is just a Python script, and the local server script is server.py. So that's the file name, and also the work directory is that folder name. So you can see we set the work directory and the arguments. So what it does, it creates a simple child process and runs the Python command python server.py. It runs simply that, and the MCP server spins up and we will be able to use our system stats tool. Now let us test this. You can see it's calling the tool get system stats which we used, and it is giving that my CPU usage is 32.1 and the RAM usage is 78%. So like this you can create your own local MCP servers. So I have used StdIO. If you want, you can also use streamable HTTP also. In the transport you just need to give a streamable HTTP and the port number, and it will easily transport it. Okay, and I will also share this code in the GitHub repo, so you can go through it and try it yourself. And also for subscribe me for next video, because the next video is about hosting all these applications in the Cloud Run. So stay tuned for that.